Well, good morning, good people of the interwebs. If I sound tired, I really am tired. But um, I've been shared this article yesterday because, just because. You ever hear the old adage of never go to sleep angry? This guy here says, do go to bed angry. And oh, let's see what this guy has to say so I can rip into it. To maintain a strong, loving relationship, Dan Savage, host of Savage Lovecast, shared a few expert daily tips for couples. Relationships are so subjective, Dan told us, and everyone wants outside advice, but it's really not that simple. Dan went on to explain the dynamics in everyone's relationships are so different that it's difficult to generalize. It's really about finding your own personal happiness, he said. Dan's first piece of advice may surprise you. Go to bed angry and wake up in the morning and resume fighting. He laughed. He went on to explain that partners often fight because of unrelated stress or exhaustion. After a good night's sleep, the problem will often resolve itself. Dan's next piece of advice is to maintain a strong sexual connection if you feel it's an important component of the relationship. I do. Release stress. Finally, be realistic, he said. Simply, relationships often. Finally, be realistic, he said. Simply, relationships sometimes involve pain, hurt, and betrayal, but according to Dan, it's crucial to forgive. Forgiveness is the grease that keeps a relationship going long term. You need forgiveness and trust, he insisted. I'm gonna read these only two comments that make sense. Another quote unquote expert giving superficial advice, all to bottle up emotions, so he, along with psychiatrists, can make millions on repeat business, evolving into more therapy and guessing around with brain chemistry. I don't like a lady use a makeup chair on her face while bedtime, or make love sexually on the bed. I'd rather love a lady whole natural face on the bedtime is best. On the bedtime? Uh, and let's see. What else is there? Be realistic, huh? Go to bed angry. Okay, let me just start off with this one. Be realistic. Of course you want to be realistic. You're dealing with somebody else, a person. You're dealing with somebody you may want to spend the rest of your life with. It's always good to be realistic, because there are some relationships, and I've seen this before on a show that I find myself watching every so often on KBS. It's called Marriage Clinic Love and War, and each week it shows these little things that break a relationship. The little chinks in the armor that break up a relationship. And sometimes it often deal with different factors that bring the relationship to a stop altogether. Being realistic, yeah, that's one thing you need to do. Be upfront and honest about your feelings. Be they about the person or yourself. The person you're with to the person yourself. Let's see. Next one he says is go to bed angry. You know, I could say this. Never go to bed angry. Never go to bed angry. Because even if you do go to bed angry, you don't know what may happen if it backfires. You know, have you ever considering what would happen if it backfired? I never once went to bed angry. What I always did was, before I did anything, I would have some downtime to myself. And that downtime would involve doing a little bit of anything. Like whether I'm reading or writing something. I would basically just keep myself in that calm position, that calm demeanor. And, you know, if my partner is still angry and she doesn't want to kiss their cheek, well then nothing I can do about it. She can go to bed angry, but I'm not going to go to bed angry. I'm going to go to bed with a clear conscience. Next, what does he say? There's no right time to have sex. I tend to agree. You know, if it all counts on mood. If you feel like it, if it's there, go for it. Create new obstacles and challenges. That depends. It's like, depending on the person, I'd say this. Make it to where the weaknesses that they have, that they know they have, fix it to where, you know, it can make them stronger and more aware of their weaknesses and make it into a strength. Just as simple as that. But don't make it too challenging, you know. Don't make it too hard. Don't make it too hard that it can't be, you know, feasible to deal with. Be honest. The one thing I had to say, that when I was married, I had to be honest. And the one thing that my ex told me was to write her a poem. Not only did this make a whole lot of sense, but it just put me into the habit of writing letters and poetry, just because, you know, it's not because she said, oh, I want you to write me a poem. Oh, I want you to write me a letter. No, I just felt like writing, you know. Plus, it feels good, to be honest. Make sure you're sexually compatible. Oh, that's that's a tough one. Because all I can say about that is, don't fake orgasms. It's like going back to five. Being honest. I'd rather someone be upfront and honest about me. You know, if I had done something wrong, or if I lacked something, I'd rather be known about it. I mean, that's just me, you know. But I don't know how you can make sure you're sexually compatible. Acknowledge your dry spell. And you're not telling us why. Sometimes it happens, you know. Sometimes it don't have to be a period, you know. It's just it happens like boom, like that. You know, because sometimes you just don't have it in you. Sometimes a whole lot of factors are working against you, like work, um, work, family, what you do on a daily basis, which doesn't pertain to work, but your daily routine, as it were. Sometimes, sometimes you need to just let it be known that, yeah, it's not that easy. Sometimes you just need to let it out. And it all goes back to be honest. Let's see. Do what works for your relationship in the bedroom. Sometimes, you gotta have some fun. You gotta have some physical fun. It's like you gotta have a pillow fight every so often. You gotta have a little fun in the bedroom. And I don't mean sex either. You just have to have a little enjoyment. Because, like I said, I don't believe in going to bed angry. I do believe that when you go to bed, if you go to bed and let's see, there's no way I can close it, huh? Can I close this, please? This is a messed up link. Let me tell you. But going back up here, like I said, I don't believe in going to bed angry because what I deal with on a daily basis, I'm already tired enough as is because a lot of things just lay in my mind for some hours, and like it just sits there and it just feels heavy, and I have no one to talk to about it. And usually it's like, well, to think about it, it's just me, because really it is just me after hours. There's no one else but me after hours. That explains why I do my work in the morning, because, well, it's the only time I can actually give myself some time to do what I need to do, and just that. I get that time to myself. I can basically do as many videos as I very well please, providing my energy can deal with it. But yeah, I'm sorry, but as far as relationships go, if you're angry, talk about it. Why? Why are you angry? Why are you this? Why are you that? If you can't talk about it normally, well, how about you talk it over with some tea or some coffee or something like that? You know, under better under better circumstances, as it were. You only save yourself some time and some energy, and plus you'd feel much better after talking about it. Even if some person would say, "Oh, I feel a little better." I'm like, "Well, do you feel better or not?" It's like, "Yeah, I feel better." Because it all goes back to that one thing: be honest. You have to be honest. Now, me from being honest is like, okay, what does your heart say? I mean, heart honesty, not just honest, but what's in here that counts. What's inside you? What are you thinking? What are you feeling right now? That's what's important. It's better just to air everything out before it basically expands into something further. That's what you don't want. And because of that, it's better just to get it all out your chest and just exhale. Just like that movie, Waiting to Exhale. You need to exhale. Get it out of your system. Because you don't want anything negative in your system to make yourself negative. Or even more negative as you already were when it happened. But I think that's enough for talk about relationships. I hope I didn't blow anyone's mind when I was talking about this. For those who have been in previous relationships or is already in a present relationship, know that the only way a good relationship can become healthy is that you let nature take its place. You don't go as far as you really should. Don't get too conceited. Don't have a swelled head. Don't have too much ego in a relationship. Don't try to fight too much, there's quarrels, there's arguments which all leads to fighting. They're all fights in any shape of the word, but you can have a disagreement and it can come out nice. But learn to compromise, you know what I mean? That's the whole thing. You have to learn how to compromise. You have to be fair and honest with each other. That's what I feel. And that's the same thing with marriage. You have to be fair and honest. You have to be fair to each other. Be respectful to one another. And, learn to love and learn to deal. You can't have it your way always. And this should be crucial. That's what I honestly feel. It's like, if it's a bad day, then of course, if it's a bad day, I'm just going to do this. I say, hey, how was your day? Okay. So I mean, if it comes to the point in which you get the silent treatment as soon as your significant other gets home, pay it no mind. It's just stress. And some stress can just be over the top excruciating. So there's that. But anyway, learn from each other and love each other as best you can. Besides, there are no perfect couples. There's no perfect couples and no perfect marriages. The only way it can be perfected is you both have to work at it. And that's the best advice I can give. So I've been the Tenkaichi. And if you have any kind of comments or feedback about this video, I will put the link in the video, or you can leave it on my video, which is right here. And I look forward to hearing from you, and of course, if there's anything worth talking about, well, we'll just leave it to that for another time. Anyway, I'll see you next time with more videos. Take care, God bless, and of course, Tenkai Muso.